The job numbers are out. They blew past expectations. Canada gaining 60,000 jobs in September, but the unemployment rate stayed at 7.1%, with more people seeking work. Let's go to Travis O'Rourke, president at Hays. He joins us now to talk some more about this. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, hi, Marilla.
Okay, so we saw gains in manufacturing. What does that tell you about the effect of tariffs at this point?
This is a really interesting one. Manufacturing tells a different story depending on where in the country that you are. But what we are seeing at Hays in manufacturing is an increase in jobs in compliance, in regulatory, and in planning. Because oddly enough, and I'm not an expert in this space, but the Build American, Buy American is actually benefiting a number of Canadian suppliers. So depending on the percentage of components and where they actually come from, Canada's getting a lot of fab work and sending it back. So there's a lot of work, not necessarily on the manufacturing floor, but in the planning processes right now.
Interesting. We're going to hope that Canada, once it rolls out its infrastructure plan in full, will benefit from that as well. But so far, maybe it's too early for that. Retail jobs are down, and I'm wondering if this is concern, considering how much we rely on consumer spending in this country.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of sign for concern, for sure. PwC had an interesting report earlier this week. I think they're saying Canadians expect to spend about 10% less through the holidays. So maybe we're seeing some of that come through in retail already. That's not an insignificant number at 10% as well. So retail is a bit of a concern right now, but I liked to see the wage numbers increase, went up to 3.3%. So people are still making money. There's no layoffs happening. We might not be seeing that unemployment rate come down. But like you say, consumer spending economy, keeping people working is like priority one.
Anything regionally that you noticed? Alberta, I noticed, did a lot of hiring, but anything else that sort of you noticed on that front?
Yeah, like you mentioned, those infrastructure investments from Carney. We'd like to see them start to come through, like actually hit them on the ground. But there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of excitement going on in Alberta right now. I think that's probably the best residential construction market. So that's good. We like Alberta. BC, struggling for sure. I think we've got a provincial government strike that's going on. And that's not just, we're looking at public sector workers, looking at all the services that supply into the public sector. They get hurt. Construction in BC is still a major problem. Like we've got a lot of projects coming near completion and not nearly enough shovels in the ground. And then I think you get to Ontario. Ontario's got a hiring freeze going on in our government here. So there's a lot going on around the country right now, but collectively to add 105,000 full-time jobs, that's something that every Canadian should be happy about.
Okay, let's get to the integration of AI. We're now beginning to see companies start to use it, yes, test it out, see what it can do for them, that kind of thing. What do you, or do you expect at some point, expect to see those job losses pick up as a result of AI integration?
I'm not sold job losses are going to come, this year, maybe not next year. We are seeing a lot of roles get replaced by AI, and I do want to be specific. When somebody retires, quits, leaves, what AI tool could do that piece of work? So I'm not seeing or expecting mass layoffs at any point in the next little bit. I think the speed of technology will almost always outpace the speed of our ability to implement and to actually absorb that change into a company. So there's little spots happening, but nothing major at this point. Hays does a survey each year, and we asked customers specifically, what percentage of jobs are you replacing with AI? It's still almost negligible. It's at like 4.2%. But you're using it to enhance how you're doing your work, to get more efficient, to try and solve that Canadian productivity problem. But right now, jobs are okay.
And do you see it rolling out in certain sectors more than others?
I would say not necessarily sectors as much as functions. If you work in accounting or finance and a lot of those transactional processes, I think this will be the year of agentic AI, and then a lot of that's going to get taken over. Customer service, we already lost a lot of jobs overseas there, but that's an easy one. So nothing major just yet across a sector. But if you work in any role that is highly transactional, very repetitive, I'd be looking to upskill myself in a different way.
Okay, let's talk about the survey that you did of employers to look at their plans for hiring. What did you find?
Good news. Hays was not surprised to see the 105,000 jobs added this month. We're clocking 49% of employers are planning to increase headcount over the next 12 months. Only 6.7 are planning to decrease. So there's a lot of optimism coming. We would have loved to have seen some great news or a signature or a deal done with Trump and Carney this week, but to still add 105,000 while construction loses 10,000, there's a lot of positivity coming in the jobs market in 2026.
Do you think that a deal, whether it be first on tariffs and maybe later on sort of a Kuzma re-cementing, will loosen things up a little bit and allow business owners who have been on the sideline to move forward?
Yeah, I think Kuzma specifically, I think there's a lot of manufacturers on the smaller side that are really getting hit by BABA and by Kuzma. They don't have the human power to move the regulatory wheel as quickly as some of the bigs do. So that's definitely a big one. I think these infrastructure projects that Carney's talking about, so that's just a domestic impact. Tariffs will be great, but there's a lot we can do at home to build jobs. And I like everything the governments are saying, and I'd love to see it to start to take action.
Got it. Travis O'Rourke, thanks for coming in. Good to see you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Travis is president of Hayes.